Mashreq's obviously an integral part of the construction sector, providing finance. What sort of ways do you see the market sort of trading its way out of some of these difficulties that we've discussed today? What things can a bank do to help the industry?
Facilitate for them, for all parties, a discussion, an open, transparent discussion onto how to complete a project. However, what we're seeing is that there has to be more focus on the contractual documentation of a contract. We could see a difference in between companies on the level of their documentation, and you could mainly derive that the more organized in your documentation that you are, the less problems that you would have later on. Reduce the number of variations, have clarity on the project from the beginning, have your designs in place, the legal work and documentation in place. You'll minimize a lot of the issues.
And does company culture play a role in this? Do you see international companies have got a slightly different attitude to documentation than, say, the more regional companies?
Of course. Let's not forget that the culture of a company operating in a specific geography or across the globe impacts hugely the way that they perform. In general, international companies are more contractual, less personal. They document most of their or all of their activities. There is nothing wrong in changing, provided that we approach it in a very systematic way. Other companies, or some companies, depending on the culture that they come from, could behave in a way that, let's say, a change order that is on the site is communicated, yes, we will do it, don't worry about it, we'll talk about it later. That cannot continue.
In the past, that's really been the favoured option, though, hasn't it? The perceived wisdom from the past has been that the wrong thing to do is be contractual and get into documentation. The client will view that badly, whereas it's maybe better to have a softer approach and just communicate verbally, and everything will be resolved in the end. That suggests that the market's changed.
Well, communication is key. Resolving issues are key. Interpersonal relationships are key still. But for any industry to evolve, that's a natural step. We were not the same as we are today. We don't have, we didn't have, 30 years ago, the amount of frauds that we have, or the towers, or the transportation. So to evolve, to change, is the most constant thing that will happen. So everybody needs to change, and that's how you evolve.
And of course, the risks are getting greater at the same time as the projects get bigger. So, yeah.
Exactly, they're becoming clearer.
Mm-hmm.